Okay. I'm going to. I'm going to Tough Lamed Gimel Sif Yud Aleph. Hamchabet Chadro B'Shloisha Osa B'Nisan U'Miskaven Livdei Kachametz. A person who swept on Yud Gimel U'Levaroi V'Nizer Shlo Lahach Nesham Ol Chametz. So he has what? A chametz free room. Abba PK, so lives like Balil Abba Awesome. How could that be? He didn't what? You sound like my wife. What does that mean in case you did a phone? And if you did it on your dalit by night, maybe you did a bad job, you should do it again on Thursday Friday morning. There's a very important concept of halacha. Halacha is not always defined by what we consider technically nachon or lo nachon. Let's see the Mishnah Berurah. Umechavin ratzulaymar lo miboy bistam. In a case where he had no intention, she'ein cheskosa mischaven, alafilu mischaven l'shem bedika. Even if you did it in order to do a bedika, gam ken lo mahani. It doesn't help. Not because we say you're careless. It doesn't help. Abba pika etzach l'dot shakibot eino bedika gemura. Bedika doesn't do the job completely. Shem nishtaya chametz beiza guma. Maybe you left the drop someplace. Even if you try to plug that hole by looking in those places with the or on air, you have to do it like everybody else. We gave a roster of how it should be done, and I don't care if you got yourself a way to do it that you took care of it in a illicit manner from a law point of view.
If the person knew for sure he was thorough and checked properly, what is the purpose of the comment? If you're not sure you check properly,
you said you asked two questions. You asked two questions in one sentence.
I thought you said if you're not sure you look properly, then should be the
Chazal chose a method that they feel this is the proper way to do it. Now, a person says, I, for myself, have a better way that works for me. All right?
Not a better way, but obviously, to do Bedikas Chametz, so it's a theory. A person should do anything. Should do Bedikas Chametz and all the night, just look for Chametz. Why do it twice? To make it something, to make your life easy.
I missed something that you said.
If the purpose of Bedikas Chametz is to rid the house of Chametz,
yeah.
So why should a person just do Bedikas Chametz on the night of the 14th and just not bother cleaning the house before, unless he has whatever.
Yeah. And that's true.
Or
but when we're talking about what happens if the person did clean the house beforehand, and now he's certain that there's no chametz there. So, a person who's going away, when does he do bedikas chametz? Before he goes away. So it's not chiseled in stone that you can. It's not. There is a structure to how it has to be done. And if you did it not with that structure, even though you may have accomplished the same results, it's unacceptable. Not only have to do it on 14, you have to do it with a candle, you have to do it. No, the person who's going to be, and people ask me this question, and a lot of times I answer against my will because I have a conflict of interest. People say, I'm just stressed out Bedikas Chametz night. I'm not going to do a good job. What do I do? So I say, so then you do part of it the day before, part of it 2 days before, and you do a better job. Do I like what I'm saying? And not only that, at the end of the day, he's doing a better Bedika. Okay? No, and so what I'll ask you, when did this fellow make Bedikas Chametz? So the answer is over a process of a few days. The answer is not that he just did it the last day, but he did it with a candle. He did it with an chsadra. He did it, I just, by the way, just want to share something with you. I can't remember why it was that some of my kollel asked me before the end of this month about banging out drawers in a room that has a big bay window. I told them it's not good enough. It has to be like an achsadra, which means that it's open. Whatever. We had a whole discussion. I was explaining to him the technical thing when you could see good. Today I had to hang up a light, and a screw fell in my kitchen, and it fell under the kickboard of the closets. And even though there was plenty of light, can't see it. You have to get down and bring a candle there. I was just thinking about it. Here we have the classical case of why you need to have a candle. Notice if I would have just like one of those heavy duty panasim, these, I don't know what they're called exactly. So I probably wouldn't have stooped down. I probably wouldn't have found the screw. All right. Anyways.
So I can go and do the whole house except for one room until you dial it, and just do that room
On your dollar.
and that's good enough.
As long as you kept out of the other room the covers, right? You didn't mess up.
I have most of the house is no comments there, and it's not. We're not planning on comments there. No little kids there. There shouldn't be comments there.
You change the subject up.
No, I'm saying so. I can go and say so. We have one room with comments now till Friday.
Pesach, yeah. Shabbos.
Till Shabbos. Well, Shabbos will be Pesach, whatever. So I can just do Bedika and have one place where we're eating.
No.
A candle, and so.
No.
Why?
Because you didn't do a Bedika in those other places. You skipped out. I said if you did on those days, you took a candle. You did a Bedika, a preempted Bedika, as a Bedika. But just exactly the point. Even though you know that it's clean, if you didn't do the prescribed procedure, it doesn't help.
Okay, so I can go home afterwards, take a candle, a flashlight, and go around to these rooms, and then.
Not only that, I say this over often, and I don't like to say things that people get bored of hearing the same thing, but I believe it's very important. From the biggest mechsholim that there are is that people clean their kitchen for Pesach. I imagine your kitchen's Pesach thing already?
Most of it is.
Okay. And they paper it up, and they never made a Bedikas on it. Now, if you get near your Pesach pots, and your wife is going to see you with your candle and your chametz bag, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. All right? So there was no, how do you do this? So what I suggest is the night that you're turning over your kitchen, that night you take a candle and you do it. Now, I will say that Nissen Karelitz, he
of course without a bracha, right? Of course without a bracha.
Correct. Without a bracha. So Nissen Karelitz, he has a interesting chidush, and he says that if you paper the closets so that it becomes like a mechitza between where you are and where the chametz is, and then you don't have to check.
Wait, so if we take a cabinet, empty out 100%, including pull out the shelves, they clean them, so all you have is bare walls. I still have to take a candle to look at it.
Yes. Yep. That's what it says, not me. V'chol adam. Now here is the I call this like the we're gonna reinforce the point. V'chol adam tzok lechabit chadam kodim bedika v'akisim obati yado shel abegodim shenaisim v'hem b'fam chametz tzrichim bedika. You have to be burning your pockets, and you have to sweep your room before you make the bedika. Why do you have to sweep your room before you make the bedika? Why can't you sweep it during the bedika? The answer to the question, I understand, is of course you could, but it's interrupted with your bedika. But you can't make a bedika without sweeping. In other words, you have to be able to see the forest through the trees. So if you didn't sweep, so you're not going to be able to look. Push, it's technically not possible to do, and that's why one has to do that beforehand. Says the Mishnah.
Well, I don't understand. Why do you have to search your pockets if you are a person that never ever puts food into your pockets?
Why do you assume that person has to check his pockets?
Because the Rav just mentioned one has to search pockets. I thought, like, for example, someone asked before, do you have to search an empty cup?
That's correct, but you cheated on me.
Huh.
The average person has to check. I said, what about this person who is different than everybody else? I never spoke about him.
You're that person. You go to Kiddush and come home and find something in your pocket that you don't know how to get.
Yeah, really?
Crumbs for sure.
You have to check. I don't know. You and I as a bocher, we used to go to this mikveh that was very crowded, and a friend of mine said I had a really horrible experience in the mikveh today. I was soaping up my leg, and I was pretty happy with what I did, and then it walked away. It was somebody else's leg. It was a joke. The joke that he was just saying how crowded it was, right? So you could go to Kiddush if you find a piece of cake in your pocket because somebody stuck it in the wrong pocket. I don't know. It hasn't happened to me. The only thing I know about other people's hands in my pocket is that they try to take my money out. I haven't found anybody trying to put something in. That doesn't happen. But if you have that kind of situation, that ain't a harami. But the pastus is that a person, the average person, when need be, will use his pockets for food. I used to learn with a very chashuv rov, and I think it was on Chalamoy Pesach. Someone came in and told the following story. This is in Yerushalayim, and Yerushalayimers wear on Yom Kippur, they wear this white kafta. They also wear the same white kafta on Leila Seder. And it's as opposed to our kittel doesn't have pockets because you can't take it with you. But theirs has, I don't know if you know what it looks like, but it has these pockets that from the back, whatever. And he said, here he was by the Seder, and he stuck his hand into his pocket, and he pulled out a piece of lekach. Now, it's very strange because he only wears this on Yom Kippur and on Pesach. So where did the lekach come from? He never checked it for Chametz because the minig, he has a minig that he doesn't eat on Yom Kippur. You don't wear it. Some do. But what happened was that
maybe he wore it on Purim one time.
So I'm telling you what happened. What happened was somebody made a bris on Yom Kippur, and after Yom Kippur was over, he put out lekach for people to take home. So the guy took a piece of cake, put it in his pocket, and forgot about it. And he remembered by the Seder. What a disaster. No, I would say it's 100% Roy Lucky. Let's go. 100%. It'll taste a little bit stale, that's all. But it's not ruined. A cookie can last 6 months. What's the shelf life on a cookie? I don't know. It's pretty dry. The drier the thing is, the longer the shelf life. Anyways, the answer to the question is that regular people occasionally put food in their pockets. If you're not from those people, you have a kpeda, you're an istanis, then enochanami could be that you don't have to check your pockets.
In the same sense, Rav, if you're living in a house where your wife is very paid about eating in the bedroom, no one eats in bedrooms near, no one has breakfast in bed, the bedroom should also be considered.
And everyone listens to the wife.
Yes, otherwise the consequences are severe.
Just wanted to make sure that we're all on the same page. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So then,
There's no need to search, no need to put what some of the pieces of bread, the 10 pieces in the bedroom, since it's a place where low
I don't
machnisim.
have to check the bedrooms at all.
Right.
I will just say something to you, okay? And I'm right now being very serious. Those people that you're talking about, many times will have a guest, and they don't tell the guest, you better not bring food into your bedroom or else you're going to be out of here, right?
Right, but we've not had guests like everyone else for a year because of the situation.
That's this year.
Sure, yeah.
And if you normally have guests, I'm willing to say that you maybe had a guest and you don't remember. No, if you tell me you're a person that never has guests, as my mother-in-law Shalom would say, never is a very long time. That's but see, theory, I agree with you. Whether in practice, I agree with you. I have to hear more from you. Okay.
Okay, fine.
Okay, so let's just see this again. A person has to sweep up before the Bedika. Why? Because you have to be able to see the forest through the trees. If you're not going to sweep up, so then you're not going to be able to look for the chametz. I was asked once this question. A person rented a car. This is a fascinating question. And by the way, I don't know if it's relevant for anybody over here. I'm not willing to make a statement about car rental companies in Eretz Yisrael. I don't know. In this country, I don't really rent cars. You rent a car in New York on Chalamoid Sukkos, you have to check it for Chametz as soon as you rent it.
Pesach.
I'm sorry. Yes. Okay. I've made mistakes, but that one's pretty bad. Anyways, yeah, but I'm happy everybody understood what I was talking about. You have to check it. That means you go to a hotel, you have to check it. Whether you have to make a bracha or not, so that depends on other factors. But in theory, you have to make a bracha. I would just say that many times there was some kind of Bedikas done, so you have to know exactly what happened. So I'm not willing to take the responsibility for that at this point. But that was important. Nakuda. You rented it, you have to take care. Now it says here you have to sweep beforehand, and if this person he rented a car on Chalamoid, and he asked me, do I have to make a bracha on checking the car on Chalamoid? And the answer is no. So he said, are you mechuyev to check it? I said yes. So he said to me, so why no bracha? So I told him that Shlomo Kluger says that since it says it has to be in karka, even though you're mechuyev to check your kisim, but there is no chiyuv if it's not karka to make a bracha. The halacha of bracha is only said on something which has karka in it. It's a fascinating idea.
Hotel room, you make a bracha?
100%. You make a bracha. And now, 1 second. After I said it, I just want to clarify. That's presuming that the balabas or the person who was there before you didn't make a bracha. Didn't make a Bedikas. In other words, if you're renting a hotel room from a hotel, I would imagine that they made a Bedikas. I would imagine that they did, so that you don't have to for what's done. But if you're renting in a religious place, so then I would imagine that it wasn't done. So that's exactly what we're saying. Cleaning was not doing. Oh, yeah. That's true. If there was somebody else there in the meantime. Yeah. All right. Let's see the Mishnah Berurah. Shaki would have been Gemara, shall be the tongue left, or feel about that fine. Sarach lechavi chadar. V'loy nivdak shaper b'loy keyboard, because you can't do good bedika if you didn't do a keyboard. V'aminig lechavi kol habayis achadar b'yom shosha aser, kadesh yochol as abedika kedin b'tchilas leil ha'baser. You do the whole apartment in 8 days. Rosh Chodesh in Tofel Amid Aleph. V'shas abedika aminig litol mitzaj lechavi heitim v'mokum b'churim v'tzdokim v'ligol v'sham v'chametz im ha'noitzo. We take it out with, and we're assuming that it didn't get ruined in any way, that it became nifsal. All right. Nice to know from Chametz. I feel barely shaloi nitan by Chametz. I don't remember that I did it. I'm zicher I didn't. Milson Ramya Navshe Lavadaiti. Something which you didn't have in mind in advance. It's not in his mind. We don't believe in the Chametz Bedika. However, the case that we were asked about before, where a person is Ramya Navshe, I don't want any food upstairs in my bedroom. So then he will be no one. You only do it in the Shas Habir. The Shibur says it should be checked with Shas Bedika. Also, we call welcome B'Shas Bedika, B'Shas Habir, Shavachazar, V'Nichnas B'Hem Chametz, Sha'achal Achar Bedika. Maybe he made a midnight snack in the middle, and he took some food after the Bedika and put them into his pockets. Fine. All right. Next simon. And this is extremely important this year. Anybody who has kids, where do you keep your chametz? So every year, the halacha is supposed to be tied up. It's supposed to be put in a place where nothing's going to happen. I had, a question a few years ago. A person left their chametz outside. This was in America, and a beer came and smelled the chametz and spread it all over the place. I would just like to share with you a story that happened to me. I was in my shver's house once for Leil HaSeder. All the years I was married, and I was, I think the first year that I was married, and he has in his backyard, he has a wine, a grape arbor. And on the grape arbor, there was planters. And on Yontif in the afternoon, I took a look in the backyard, and in one of the planters was a bagel, an American bagel. What? I'm saying, a bagel. And I was horrified, mortified, and we put up a mechitza in front of it. And eventually my father-in-law came down, and he said, "What's going on? What's the whole ruckus about?" And we told him. He said, "What are you talking about? Can't be." And I said, "Well, I'll show you." And we pull away the curtain, and there's no bagel. There's no bagel. And we were all puzzled. And then we saw a squirrel come and put down another bagel. There was actually a relay service going on. Okay, that they were just moving it one guy to the next guy and getting you. I don't know where they were squirreling it away too. That's actually what was really happening. And you can have, this is Shemagor Chulda. This is a case of really, you have to be choshish if you have such a situation. All right. Anyways, fine. Says the Mishnah. So your chametz you put away on Thursday night. Then you're going to put it away throughout Friday night. You're going to be eating it on Shabbos morning. You have to put it in a tamper-proof place. It has to be a place that you're convinced that nobody's going to be getting it that's not a responsible adult. All right. I would like to focus on what we just said, and the question which I've been asked in Hilchos many times, where I'm going to have to make a Bedika tomorrow, do I have to make a Bedika tonight? In other words, I'm going to eat in my dining room on my dining room table on this Friday night in Shabbos and Mitzvah Shem. So is there any reason for me on Thursday night to have to make a Bedika over there? Anyways, I'm going to make a Bedika tomorrow. I have to. I can't do it maybe with a candle. I have to make some kind of Bedika.
Because except for the Chametz, you put the sun, which you know using the Shabbos for the pocket. The rest of it, you have to check for anything else.
All right, let's read what we just said. If you did it and you're careful, then not to make it a Bedika. You find that you're missing some of your bread. You only found 9. You don't know if you lost anything. You don't have to worry about it. If you put it in a secure place and then you lost it, someone else took it. We have a responsibility to keep all of our chametz in a safe place. Okay, that's the bottom line over here. They'll take it away. Which is ridiculous. They take the other chametz and are careful about moving one place to the other. The loy shaper avdi. Today shall it start with Dika. We come back and talk with Baruch Shenis al Bedikas. We birch v'loy matzah. Tzarich levat el pam acheres. The havi hachametz shegor ha'achvar ha'bedika lo yahavi b'chav bittul. He wasn't included there. Sharei shir oisay lemachol. Kidei levar roy lemacher. You had it left over intentionally because you wanted to do something with it. So there never was a bittul that happened on him. You wanted to again. So it's not a problem. I'm just mentioning this again. This is such an important halacha this year. I can't say it enough time. We must remember on Shabbos to say the bittul of kol chamira. You don't say it on Friday morning because you're planning to eat from the food that's going to be brought. So the person should be careful. Okay.
So what did the Rav say? Does a person have to do the Bedika where he's going to eat the following day?
Yes.
He has to do it anyway.
Yeah. Now, how well does he have to do it tomorrow? So you only have to do in as much you have to look for what could have possibly happened from the pitas that you ate.
Right.
Okay. Fine. And so lived over that we it has to be in a place which is secure. And therefore we consider it secure. Okay. Achra Bedika. Miyad belel bal yuatleno. You're mavatal that which you found. You say, go chamer disi v'shusei. Whatever I didn't see, I wasn't mevarer. It should become batal and null and void. And you should say it in a language that you understand. You have to say all the different kinds of chametz that are there. And this is what we're going to be doing on Shabbos morning. You can't do it anymore. Okay. Says the Mishnah Berurah. Okay, you're gonna find a prominent piece of good cake. They never got no. They didn't make a kinyan on it, and you already released your hold on it, and then it would be the seder. What you left away is not. And Agal just mentioned there are some, but they did him in the Mechira of this year. They explicitly say that whatever the person owns and is planning to use it on Leila Seder, it should not be included. So they don't want that there should be some kind of a lack of hatama. Okay. Heavy kaf for the ara. The knuckle the heavy hefker kaf for the ara. The kuliyav mahani lashon zeshel hefker. Anybody could say this. Va'avsha omar lashon zeh beino ben atzma v'le b'fnei anoshim. All right. The lashon shemevin. What did somebody tell me today? I went to Bar and Lev. The Bar and Lev said he should be mafka. Oh, somebody told me, okay, the person had to be mafka something in his house because the mezuzah was no good. So Bar and Lev said, tell it to your friend. If the person wanted to know, tell it to your friend. Did he go to his friends on the other side of town where they can't make it back to go and steal the stuff that was made hefker, so to speak? And Marlon said 100%. Okay. Anyways, Bittul, b'bittul hayom yom dechazite v'lo chazite divarti v'lo bi'arte. In the daytime bittul, you say what I saw, what I destroyed, and that's the most important part that he says. The bittul hayom dechazite, the bittul hayom ela mishomanisha, whatever was left over. Okay. Shluch hayochel v'atloi. The shluch can make a bittul for you. He has to make it clear whose chametz is being mevatel. Batel. If you're not at home, wherever you are, you can say it's batel. One can let his wife do the Bedikas. Says the Mishabur. Okay. I've been learning Psachim for many years already. Not sure I could translate those words exactly. That bittul is mishum hefker. Someone want to translate that? You're not renouncing ownership.
If you're saying this is not anything to me, then you're renouncing ownership.
No. What would you say, Peretz? If Bertha Taka was Mavatal it, and he made a net, he doesn't want plenty to have enough from his Machasa. All right. But it's yours. The question, what's called yours? You understand? That's the.
It's not a problem to be mafker on Shabbos.
It is.
But not a bittul.
Bittul you can do on Shabbos, and hefker is a shiloh and bar mitzvah. You're allowed to do it, and just like all kinyan of a kinyan for its bar mitzvah, is allowed to be done. But it's an excellent question. Not only that, there's a big question this year. What happens if a person forgot to sell his chametz? Can he sell it to a guy on Shabbos? A very big discussion about it. Many places can say you're not allowed to. You have to just give it away. All right. Apitropis shall Yisrael Chayiv lived like a levato. U'makom sheret and schar Bedika less schar. V'mova v'lei bir v'lei bitel or Chayiv. All right. V'ish v'veisoi v'loi meneh shaliach levatoi. V'fi ma shekosem mikodim v'yesh machmir v'loi mahani shliach levato b'achol levato shom v'makom shu b'matzah gam kein. Because why can't I make a shliach be levato something for me? What should be the reason? Somebody with me? What should be the reason that you shouldn't be able to make a shliach to be mevatel something for you?
How do you know he will be precisely what it is in your league?
I trust the guy. Why is he making a mistake? Why is Chappaz a mistake guy? I don't think I take Trumas and Mises from me.
Maybe because it's an Isa Doraisa. It's an Isa Doraisa.
What's this in Isa?
If you have Chametz.
No, I asked the question, why shouldn't I be able to have somebody be mafkir something, be mevatel something for me?
Be mevatel means that I have no connection to it. How can he make me have no connection to it?
In other words, Yechiel is asking you a good question.
I didn't
He
hear.
wants to know how can you have a shliach be kind of something for you? He's asking.
I want to be kainid, and Chaseli the Maisa Kinyan, so he can do that Maisa Kinyan on my behalf. Over here, it's my mind that has to be mevatel.
Bittul is not an action. I can have a shliach do an action for me. I can't have a shliach do a thought for me. I just want to ask you a question. And though I'll answer the question, but theoretically, if I told you to be mevatel my chametz for me, was I already mevatel it?
It would seem to be. But then he's a garnished, so I don't understand the whole. In other words, what I'm basically saying is that he's going to now think for me. And so I wasn't mevatel yet. That's my gilui over here. I'm being megala that I'm not going to be mevatel it. He's going to be mevatel it, but it just doesn't work.
So I'm going to take you out of your misery. Okay? Ani oisa chesed. I want to eat the stuff. I want to have it today. But in an hour from now, when everybody's finished, whatever's left, I want somebody to mevatel it. When is that going to happen? Yechiel, you should smile.
I didn't follow. I didn't understand the question.
I can't be mevatel right now. I'm still eating. I also can't be mevatel. I said, when I'm finished eating, I want you to be mevatel for me.
So then once again, then I'm doing it.
No, because when I said it, when the person said it, the bittul didn't happen. You're still using it. It's only later, and I gave you permission to be in my stead.
But once again, but that means so. But I plan now that then I'm gonna divorce myself of it.
Yes.
That's what.
Yes.
So then I'm saying, so that guy is irrelevant.
No, because he has to do the bittul. I wasn't mevatel it now. I was megala das. I want to be mevatel. I wanted to be mevatel at a certain time.
Okay, but my understanding is that bittul means that I've divorced myself from it. What that guy does is a little sure.
You're not divorcing yourself from it. You're going to eat it in a minute. You're making kiddush and you eat those lechem for
Can I make a declaration of bittul saying that now for now I want to be mevutal? Is that a bittul?
Maybe you could, but you didn't. And right now, I'm planning on using it.